Man, so much to say and so few minutes to say it, and they told me I spoke too long in the video, so I only get 2 minutes now. Look, at the end, I said in the video, I'll say it again now, so much of what we did together as Hoonigan, the Gymkhana films, and all of that was to support Ken's passion of sliding cars around the dirt, right? And, that was what really funded sort of everything that we got to go do and go make a ton of fun, right? And I think, when I first met Ken, I had already worked in the automotive industry. I was a magazine journalist, and Ken came in from the world of skateboarding and snowboarding, from his DC Shoes era, and he looked at this and he said, why isn't everyone having more fun? Because he came into motorsports and he said, we're all take this so seriously, and it feels so much like a job. And I get to go drive a rally car, but if I do donuts in it, I get yelled at, probably by Derek Dauncey, who's sitting over there, because they were there to test, they were there to be fast, and he wanted to also go have fun, because he knew that the entertainment side of this was what was going to get other people to watch it, help fund what he was going to do, but also just made the sport more accessible, especially to a new, younger generation. And that's what we set out to do, right? Was let's go take this thing that all of us got into originally because we found it fun and because this was our hobby, and just try to continue to celebrate that part of it. The part that, the first time that any of us got to go slide a car sideways or jump a truck, right? My first time jumping a truck was with BJ Baldwin, and I think it was in the dunes up in Pismo, and he didn't tell me we were about to jump 150 feet. That was fun. I appreciate that. But I think it was one of those things where it was like, let's get back to that, and let's remind everybody the fun side of this and do all of that. And I think the part that, for a lot of people here, and, Jim said it at the beginning, was like, I think the part that we all want Ken to be remembered for is that impact, the impact of what he brought in the way that maybe changed the way we looked at the way we were looking at the sports and the way we were talking about them and the content we were making about them, and also the opportunity that created for other people, whether it was a different way to get into it, a different way to, come after the sport, whether it was as a competitor, as a partner, as someone who was making parts for the space, and just looking at the business in a different way. And, I think that was so much of what Ken wanted, was to just be able to create opportunity, right? And create this thing. And I think when we sat there and we talked about, this and what this, the nomination and what this all meant for us, was about really not just celebrating what Ken did behind the wheel, but also what Ken did in terms of creating that impact and continuing that. And it's something that we have been trying to keep going. It's the reason we started the 43 Institute, which is the foundation in his name, to just kind of continue to keep this sort of opportunity that Ken created for not just people like myself and other people I know who are here who told me Ken was a huge influence for him, but also the younger generation that's still looking at this hobby and wanting to get into it and looking at different routes to get in. So anyway, I want to thank everybody here, the entire off-road community. I know while we did dabble in the world of trucks, we lived on the fringe of it in rally cars, but you guys still all accepted us as part of the family, and we appreciate that. Ken, we miss you.